LDR fam. Well, welcome to LDR Talks. This is now our episode 6, and in today's episode we will be talking about on how to decide or how do you talk about on who should make the move for you to end the long distance. This was asked to me honest actually, and the question was how how do we decide on who will make the move? So the girl has a good career in her country, and the guy is just starting out, and he can have a job on that country where the girl is, but he doesn't want to move. On the girl's perspective, or like on her situation, when if she moves to the guy's country, he will lose her career. So how do we go about this one?
Right. So this is probably one of the biggest questions in LDR, right? Making the final move, buying that one-way ticket to finalize, both of you being together, finally. Um, and it's definitely one of the hardest decisions that, I think any couple will have to make, um, for any number of factors, right? Like it can get complicated, right? One person, like you're saying right now, one of them isn't willing to move, for one reason or another. Um, when we used to talk about this question, what we always said is, well, it's always like it was a mutual thing between us two, right? How we decided that it was gonna be, where we felt we had the most opportunity, where we had the most opportunity for both of us, and would hold the most opportunity for our future, for our kids, if you plan on having kids. Um, but it's never an easy decision too, because you got these factors like the person that makes the move might feel homesick, of course. They'll be leaving their home country, to a whole different place, completely unfamiliar. um, and it's something that the person that's at home, when they bring their partner to the different country, should try and make them feel like they're at home, make them feel as comfortable as possible there. um, but it's really a thing that both people will have to discuss, and it might be a discussion that'll pop up, every so often. But ultimately, what both want is for that gap to close, for the LDR to finish. um, it's difficult because the girl has her career, the guy is just starting out. um, you know it's one of them, I guess, they both want to do good, they both want to advance, they want to both do good for the family. um Maybe this is something I still got to think a little bit, because this is a little bit more difficult for me. I mean, what's your opinion on it? How do you see it?
Okay, so what matters here is that, okay, in our case, like in Irvin's and my case, we were both willing to move. We were both, when we talk about that, willing to move here and I'm willing to move there. But it all comes down to like, where do we get where is that place and where we can both have more opportunities for growth? Where is that place wherein we can both have a better life? So that's one of the things that we've talked about, that we considered. And in this case, the girl has her career in that place, and the guy um, doesn't have anything yet. So, and I think with what she said, the guy can work to where she
Mhm.
is. He just doesn't like the place. So it's about compromises. You have to compromise, both of you, or like both of you, one way or another, have to have some sort of sacrifice.
Right, sacrifices will have to be made, one way or another. That's just how LDRs work out. Unfortunately, we're both people are not from the same country. The only way that this could close is one or the other moving. um of course, it'll never be an easy decision. um like me and Shay, like I did say, I'm willing. I was always willing to make the move, if I had to, because I'd always tell her, well, you know there's always going to be chances to create opportunities. And, to me, I think what mattered the most to me was being with her, with you. That's what mattered the most. Everything else to me was secondary. Like, I really didn't care about anything else. Um, and I just, I told you, I told myself, well, we create opportunities, whether you move over here or I move over there, to me, as long as you were there, that's what was most important to me. But when you got two people in conflict about deciding, what path to take, it can be difficult, and it really will have to come down to a compromise. They really will have to lay everything down on the table and look at all the opportunity costs, and just figure it out on their own as to which will be the best decision. Perhaps right now, I mean, at least what I think, maybe the girl's probably in like you said, in a better position where the guy, he could work his way up to it. Um, right now he's at zero. He can begin at zero again, make his way up. But when he feels like he doesn't like the place, then I don't know. And the girl would have to start from scratch again, and it's difficult, I think.
Well, I guess it
Um,
just boils down to like in the end they have to decide where is it where they will both have better opportunities. As we said, one way or another, they will have compromises. Each will have their own compromises. And the thing is, we should both, or like the couple in the relationship should both be willing to compromise. If one doesn't want to compromise and it's just the other who sacrifices everything, then how will that even work?
right? It wouldn't. It wouldn't work. There'd be arguments, there'd be conflicts there. Um, but ultimately, what they want is, just to end this already. Um, but it won't come. It will come with sacrifices. That's just a part of it. Uh, had it been in the same country, perhaps a different story. But LDR couples, for the most part, come from two completely different places. Um, but there will have to be compromises made.
So in LDR relationships, this is one of the things that um couples should talk about, because what if like you've already been planning to marry and then you haven't even talked about on who will move, on how will you close the gap and things like that, or like you've been in a relationship for a long time and then one of you realize, oh, I don't want to move, or like you both don't
Right.
have to move. And if that's the case, then there's really nothing that can be done with it.
Right. That's completely true. This is one of those things you have to talk about, before, getting married, to make sure, well, hey, how will we handle this? Once we're married and, want to start forming the family and, live in the same place, well, what are we gonna do? It's really a question to ask right before you actually do, tie the knot.
Every relationship, actually, LDR or not, will have some sort of compromises. So both parties should be willing to compromise, and that's really the main thing about it. If both of you or one of you is not willing to compromise, then what will happen to the relationship then?
Right? Compromises and sacrifices. Both parties, I think.
See, well, we hope you got something out of this episode today. Feel free to like and subscribe. And if you have more questions for us that you want to be talk about, then feel free to message us.